Arizona, a few minutes after 8.
When the film is over, please exit through the bottom sets of doors by the movie screen and proceed to the dock, where you will board a Navy boat that will take you to the USS Arizona Memorial.
Delivering aircraft for the defense of Wake Island and Midway. The last night of peace slipped away. On the north side of Fort Island, the cruiser Raleigh and the training ship Utah were hit. Utah capsized, taking 58 men with her. But Oklahoma rolled over too quickly to be saved. Within minutes, hundreds of seamen were trapped inside.
It's raining.
In the event of an emergency, there are life jackets located in your seats. If you guys want to take photos during the trip, please do so from a seated position. Thank you.
I will continue on. And if this rain gets stronger than it is right now, then I will move you to someplace else. Now, construction 45, they were not here, anchored in Tokyo Bay. They had over 250 Allied ships that were there with them, over 1,000 Allied aircraft as well. Now, of course, Missouri looked nothing like it does today. These covers that are above your heads were not there. The deck that we are currently standing on, they built a temporary one extending out 10 more feet. So that way they can have photographers and journalists there. This was going to be broadcast throughout the world. The second gun turret, they turned it 30 degrees starboard side, making room for any officers. The mushroom cap behind you, they replaced it with a flat one. If you can imagine, along this superstructure, hanging anywhere possible, around 3,000 of those enlisted men. Of course, each one of them wanting to witness to what would take place. It was an overcast Sunday morning. The ceremony was scheduled for 9 a.m. and it just so happened to run 2 minutes behind schedule. General MacArthur came down from the Admiral's stateroom, saw the Japanese delegates were not aboard ship yet. He did not want to be photographed waiting for them to arrive. He went right back up and had everyone wait for him. At 9:02, Admiral Halsey, Admiral Nimitz, and Douglas MacArthur. They all came down this starboard ladder here, and they would take their positions. The ceremony began with a prayer from the ship's chaplain, and afterwards MacArthur began his speech. He spoke of justice, tolerance, rebuilding, and a complete overall better future. Prior to that day, the Japanese had never surrendered to anyone before, so they did not believe they were going to make it off of the ship alive. They thought they were getting a vengeful victor, and that was not the case. First person called to sign is number 20 in that photograph, for those of you that have seen it on the turret. He is Foreign Minister Shigemitsu. He's there to sign on behalf of the Emperor and for the Japanese government. He was first called over to that table. He will take off his top hat and gloves. He will sit down to sign each one of those documents, and when he is finished, he will stand back rejoining his delegates. You will also notice there is a cane in his hand in the photograph. That's because one of his legs are wooden. He had a hard time getting from their ferry to our ship, and that is the reason why these Japanese delegates were late for the ceremony. Second person called to sign is number 21, General Umezu, signing on behalf of the Imperial Army of Japan. He too was called forward. He did hesitate. He will also make his way to that table. When he is asked to sit down, he chooses to stand. He will then out the way signing each one of the documents. When he is finished, he will stand back rejoining his delegates as well. Now the third man to sign was General MacArthur. In that photograph, he is sitting at the table. He is not there signing on behalf of the United States. He signed as Supreme Allied Commander. He had 6 pens with him to sign these documents. He would use them all as momentums and give them away. First 2 pens he signs, as I will mention, those are the ones that have the importance to each one of us. He takes those first 2 pens, he will sign pieces of his name. Handing them to number 1 and 2 behind him, Lieutenant General Wainwright, Lieutenant General Percival of the British Army. Both men are there representing all of our POWs that we had during the war. A few days prior to the ceremony, they were just released from their camps. Life expectancy at that time was 3 to 6 months. Both of those men were held captive for 3 years, most of war. They both stood over 6 feet tall, weighing less than 100 pounds each. Wainwright captured in the Philippines and Percival surrendered in Singapore. Now once MacArthur has finished signing these documents, Admiral Nimitz comes forward. He will sign on behalf of the United States. Once he signs, China signed, Great Britain, Soviet Union, Australia, France, Canada, Netherlands, and New Zealand all sign as well. At 9:25, MacArthur walks back to that mic and then says these proceedings are now closed. He said the world is now silent and may God preserve it always. Beginning to end, the whole ceremony took just 23 minutes and the most costly civilian war of mankind. It is a low estimate of 69 million that are missing and dead, European and Pacific side of that war. And 50 million of them were innocent civilians. They had absolutely nothing to do with it. They were just caught in between the crossfire. Now, as you all see, the plot is exactly where the table sat with the instruments of surrender. Most of you have seen the replica documents that we have. The originals are in the archives in Washington, D.C. and Tokyo, Japan. Now, the captain's cabin is behind you folks, but I believe it is being used as of right now. But after the tour, if you come back, it should reopen. Behind you, I get you plenty of questions about the flag that is hanging, so I will answer it for you now. It is a replica that dates back to 1853. It was aboard Commodore Matthew Perry's ship. when he first entered into Tokyo, just as we did. He was the first man to open trades in the Western Japan. MacArthur flying that flag here during the signing to show these Japanese delegates they've had a partnership before and that they could work together again. It is facing backwards because of its very poor condition on the other side, and it is a coincidence in our U.S. military today we have backwards flags on our uniforms signifying moving forward and forward motion. The word kamikaze, you think it means suicide bomber or suicide pilot, but the word itself means divine winds. In the late 1200s, Mongolians tried to invade Japan. Both times they were unsuccessful, and that's because of typhoons. The Japanese saw these typhoons as godly winds or otherwise divine winds. With our allied ships in Okinawa, they needed something to stop us from invading. They lost a lot of their greater pilots, so they thought of using young men. Now these men had little to no training. They're to fly planes with just enough fuel and no training at all, with 500-pound bombs attached towards our ships in hopes of damaging or sinking them. They did succeed with 32 ships and they lost 4,000 pilots. In 1945, we still had all of the anti-aircraft guns on the decks. April 11th at 2:43, that is when they seen this plane coming in starboard side, intense fire towards the pilot. They did manage to kill him. They said they could see his body slumped over the pilot's deck as the plane made its way forward. Left wing and nose of that plane is what struck the side of the ship. It broke off, going into the ocean, taking along the 500-pound bomb that luckily did not detonate. The right wing sheared off, that cartwheeled along the deck, and it sprayed aviation fuel, and it started a very large fire. It was said to go as high as the mast when the Allied ships called in Missouri. They did not believe those men were going to make it through them. Damage control was absolutely amazing. They got this fire out in just 3 minutes. They did a head count. There were no major casualties among the crew. They quickly started washing the decks of the wreckage that remained, and as they were doing so, they came across the pilot's body. Instead of washing his body overboard, they had orders from their captain. They wanted to keep his remains so they can do a proper burial at sea. These orders came from Captain Callahan. He said the young man was just following orders, fighting for his country just as they were. They were to pay him those respects. Now, of course, we did not have a Japanese flag aboard the ship, so a few of our men stayed up overnight and made ship flag by hand, using red signal flags and a white bed sheet. April 12th, that very next morning, right along the deck, they did hold the ceremony. Now, after the tour, for those of you that do make your way to the stern, you will see photographs starboard side across from that turret. You will also see a silhouette of footsteps. They actually show where the Marine Detachment gun salute was, where the captain was standing, and you will see exactly where that young man's body was let out to sea. During the early 2000s, we did research to find out who the pilot was. His name was Setsuo Ashino. He was 19 years old, petty officer, second class. Now, his family decided they would love to thank Callahan for the respects that he was given. Unfortunately, before they arrived to the States, Callahan did pass away. That did not stop them. They decided they would still come here and meet with his son, who was alive, Admiral Callahan, and that they would thank him, which they did. They also donated photographs of the pilot in his pilot gear and a family portrait. He was just around 2 years old in that photograph, and ironically, he was holding a Japanese toy plane. Those are the pictures that we have available on our storyboards on the fan television.
footing. Now, you want to go back now and go hot.